Okay, now at first glance, these equations look just like crap you've been doing all along, okay? But they're actually not. So so what we're going to do here is I'm going to teach you how to solve these equations, but we're going to run into a little problem here that we haven't had. So how many answers? There's 2. Okay. Now, I need to know now, I have to start looking whether we have to set and use boxes or just get the x squared equal. Well, and I do that, I write that up here. Well, we have x squared, obviously, but we also have an x not to the second. So that's set and boxes, okay? So I keep reading this. So set equal to 0, it is. Okay, count the terms. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 terms. So I'm looking down this row, okay? So it's going to be GCF and the T table. Okay, now the GCF, remember the 3 things you check for when you do GCF. The negative, not there. X, not on everything. X second, X first, but 7 doesn't have it, okay? And then the actual GCF itself, okay? We're still going to be doing that. So 2, 1, 7, just like I always have, okay? 2, that's always how you find a GCF, those 3 things. Okay. Calculate the GCF, it's just 1. So if I just have 1, we ain't doing it. If there's an X with it, I will, but not. Okay, now here's the problem. A, B, C. Okay. So I take 2 times negative 7. And that's negative 14. So it would be a minus problem because it's negative, and I'd be trying to get to 1 negative, okay? But here's the problem. 14 divided by 1 is 14. 14 minus 1 is not 1, it's 13. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 minus 2 is not 1, okay? 14 divided by 3 is a decimal. 14 divided by 4 is a decimal. 14 divided by 5 is a decimal. Divided by 6 is a decimal. And after 6 comes 7, which I've already know that doesn't work. So this T-chart is a fail. I cannot find it. That's going to happen now. It hasn't happened before. Now, when the T-chart fails, you use the quadratic formula to find the 2 answers to the quadratic equation. So, you make a big line and write this. Opposite of B, plus or minus, plus minus, B square root. And then you need 2 parentheses, b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac, so b squared minus 4ac. Get those parentheses or it's screwed up. Over 2a, over 2a. Now, that's all great, but now we got to fill in numbers in place of every letter. So opposite of B. Now B is negative 1. The opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. So just put 1. Then I have B. B itself, not the opposite of B, just B. And B is negative 1. Okay, so scribble that out, but don't scribble out the parentheses. Just put a negative 1 over your B. Okay. And then we already have a number there. A is 2. And by the way, don't put any x's in here. Just put the number itself. C is negative 7. Now, one thing people screw up, they won't put the negative on the 7. They'll just put 7. That screws you up. So negative 7. Then I also have A here. A is 2. Okay, now here's the first thing I do. First thing I do is times these numbers on the bottom. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. Then I need to figure out this square root. So remember what we're going to do. We're going to go second, 4 keys from the bottom, and then we need 2 parentheses at the beginning here. And then I'm entering in -1. I'm closing my parentheses. And to get that to the second power, we just click 4 keys up without hitting the second. Okay. And then I hit my subtraction key. And then a parentheses with 4, close that. And a parentheses with 2, close that. And a parentheses with -7. 7.54 or 55. So scribble that out after that's been done. Actually, don't scribble that out. Just cross it out and then go over the top of it and put 7.54. Okay, then here's how I get my answers. I click 1. Then I hit plus. Then I hit 7.54. And then I hit equals. And then I divide by what's underneath. So 1 plus 7.54, click equals, and then divided by 4. 2.13. Okay, now to get the other answer, it's not -2.13. Okay, that's not how this works. After you get your first answer, cross out the plus sign, not the minus though. And now you take 1 minus 7.54, hit equals, and then divide by the number underneath, 4. Hit divided by 4, -1.63 or 64. Okay, and these are decimals, and that's going to happen when the T-chart fails. Okay. Next problem. There are 2 answers. So again, when we have more than one answer, we need to start going up here and deciding if I have to set it with boxes or if I can just get the x squared equal. Okay. Well, there's an x that isn't to the second power, so we got to set and use our boxes. Okay, so then I'm going to use this sheet here to guide me how many answers I already know. Set equal to 0, it is. Now count the terms. 1, 2, 3. There's 3, okay? So same thing, GCF table. Okay. Remember, GCF, always the things you check for. Negative in front, X, and the GCF. There's not a negative in front. We have X second, X first, but the 1 doesn't have an X, so I don't have to worry about an X. GCF 3, 5, and 1, it's going to be 1 because 1's in the group of numbers, so forget that. So I take +3 times +1, and that's 3 positive. So I'm going to want to try to add to get to 5, which is negative. 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay? So if that number is too small already to get to 5, if it's smaller than 5 when you add, that's going to fail. Okay? All right, so here we go. Opposite of B, plus or minus the square root. B squared minus 4AC, but you need 2 parentheses at the beginning. B squared minus 4AC over 2A over 2A. Okay, now we got to replace our variables. So opposite of B. Well, B is -5. The opposite of -5 is +5. So just put 5. And then B itself without the opposite. Now B is -5. Okay, so just put a little -5 above that parentheses. We're going to put that in the parentheses. 4 is already here. A, well, A is 3. C is +1, okay? And I've also got A here. A is 3. Okay. Now the first thing we're going to do is take 2 times 3. You always times these two, and that's 6, okay? Now we got to figure out that big square root, okay? So I go second, 4 keys from the top, double your you need 2 parentheses at the beginning, and you're going to put -5, and then close it. Second power is this key here. It's the same key you use for the square root, you just don't hit the second button. Minus a 4, a parentheses 3, close it, and a parentheses 1, okay? Hit equals, and you got 3.60. So just put 3.60 above that, okay? Now, that's gone. So what do we have left? We've got a 5, a 3.60, and a 6, okay? So I go across. I go 5 plus 3.60, hit equals. You got to hit equals, and then divided by, because it's under the line, divided by 6. 1.43. The other answer is not just -1.45, okay? You get rid of the plus sign, and now you do the same thing, but you do minus. So 5 minus 3.60 equals, and then divide by 6, 0.23.